All right, welcome back to the $1,000,000 challenge where I start off with $1 and work my way up to $1,000,000. Today, we're running the bracket challenge. This has been talked about for a while in the Discord. I'm going to run the bonuses while I explain what we're going to do today. I'm going to be testing your guys' strategies and we're going to see which one's the best one and gets the most wins. So let me run the bonuses and I'll explain what we're going to do today. Okay, so there's a lot of bonuses going on in the background. I claim these bonuses throughout the challenge. Just to boost the balance up. It helps add to our bankroll. So today, like I said, we're doing the bracket challenge. So I had 16 strategies sent in from all of you guys in the Discord, and we're gonna test them out. We're gonna put them head to head. I'll show the bracket after these run through. This is about a minute long, so it's not super long. But I'm gonna run all of your strategies head to head. Each video, I think I'm gonna do just 2 strategies. We're just gonna do one section of the bracket, and we're gonna see what strategy has the best winning consistency over time, which one gets the most wins and has the best chances of being a winning strategy. And I'm excited for this because I don't have to think too much. I just got to run your strategies. I got to put them in to the website and just let them go. So it's really easy on my end, and I'm very excited for this. We've been talking about this for a long time, and it's time to finally do it. So this will probably run for a decent amount of episodes, but it'll be interesting. We're gonna do a bunch of different stuff I've never really done before. It's going to be very exciting. So I'm excited to see what you guys come up with. Like I said, we're going to be doing 2 today. I'm going to show the bracket in a second here, and we're going to test them out. So I like these kind of videos because I don't really have to think. I just got to, like I said, I just got to put your bets in, play your strategy. It's very nice. So I'm excited for this because I don't like to have to come up with ideas for videos, and this is the best thing for me to do right now to make things a little bit easier. But yeah, it'll be a fun time. So let me pull up the bracket and I'll explain how everything will work. Okay, so here's the bracket. This is what we're looking at. We got 16 strategies. I actually had 14 submitted by different people. I didn't want to use the same person's strategy. Like if they said, like a couple guys sent in multiple strategies, I didn't want to give them the chance of making it the whole way to the end, because when we get to the end here, whoever gets to this final box, I'm going to pay them out a little bit of a cash prize just because they had the best strategy. So I wanted good strategies that are going to be consistent. So that was a little bit of an incentive for you guys. Yeah, so we're starting off. We have 16 strategies. And like I said, for the bracket to work, I really needed 16. I only had 14 sent in that were different people that sent them in. So what I did is I did 2 of my own strategies against each other at the bottom here. These are just my 2 favorite strategies that I personally use, and I'm gonna run those against each other. I'm hoping they actually don't win because I don't wanna. That's not gonna happen. If these make it far, we'll figure out something that knocks these out. But I just forgot to throw these in here, just as like a little thing in the challenge where I use my own strategies just to see how they compete with your guys's. But mine will not win this challenge. I promise you that. Even if they do make it the whole way, I'll find out a way to make someone else win. But either way, we're gonna figure that out later. How this challenge is gonna work. We have, like I said, we're gonna start off with 8 brackets here, and then the winner moves on to the next round. And then there's gonna be a total of, 4 rounds? 1, 2, 3, 4. And then after the 4th round, we have a winner. So what I'm gonna do for this is just each video is gonna be 1 bracket placement. So for this video, we're doing a limbo strategy and a crash strategy, and then the winner will move on to the next one. But we're gonna run through all these first, and then we'll go into round 2. So that's how this bracket's set up. Pretty straightforward. If you've ever seen a bracket like March Madness or anything, it's very simple. Yeah, I guess that's pretty much it. Like I said, we're gonna run each strategy. If they both win, I will have a system that determines a tiebreaker. If they both lose, I have a system that determines a tiebreaker for that as well. But obviously the winning strategy moves on, and I guess that's pretty much it. It's pretty simple. So we're gonna pull up the bankroll real quick, the tracking sheet. So looking at the bankroll tracking sheet, what we got now is $976 sitting in the bankroll. Really good bankroll size. We got some bonuses. Obviously, I showed you guys in the beginning, so we're pretty high. This is a peak balance. I'm hoping that these strategies can keep the balance up, and we almost are $1,000. So that's pretty exciting. It's pretty cool stuff. So yeah, we're sitting at 976. What I'm gonna do for each of these strategies that you guys sent in, I'm gonna use the 4% of the bankroll as the bankroll for the entire strategy. Obviously not my entire bankroll. And then we're trying to get the 1% profit pool. So really using 4%, I'm trying to get 1%. So really it's like using the bankroll to get a 25% gain. So you have 4% to get that 1%, that's 25% gain. So they have to be pretty good to get 25% gain in one session. I know it's a little bit high risk for a lot of these strategies, but if they can make it that far and get 25% return on the bankroll, it's a pretty good strategy, right? So our 1% profit goal for today will be $9.76. Our stop loss will be $39. Okay, so our first strategy is going to be, I'm gonna butcher all these usernames, I apologize. Stylianos M. We're gonna use their auto limbo strategy. So what they're rocking with here, it's pretty straightforward. I'm gonna enter this into the website as I go through this. So basically, we're doing an auto strat on limbo, and it is a 1.7 multiplier. Okay, so 1.7 multiplier, and then on loss, he suggests that we're gonna increase it 130%. So that's pretty high, but we're gonna follow exactly what they're suggesting here. And the base bet is 0.005 of the balance, and then on win, I guess we just reset. So this will be a very interesting start. We'll see how this goes. So let me pull up the website for you guys to see here. Okay, so for our base bet, we're doing 0.005 the balance. And since I'm using 4% of the bankroll as our balance, I'm using 0.005 of this $39 here. So that comes out to 20 cents. So we're gonna start off with 20 cents as our starting bet. And boy, am I nervous to do this. I don't know what the strategy even looks like. I haven't tested any of these. I don't play off camera anymore. So let's move this over here so you guys can see it. All right, so I'm just gonna rip it. We got the 1.7x multiplier. We're doing 0.005% of the balance. On win, sorry, I gotta reset that. On win, we reset. On loss, we go to 130. And we're gonna stop on profit of our 9.76. That's our 1% profit goal. And our stop loss, we'll just let that go out until it crashes. So let's see how this goes. The start of the bracket challenge starts right now. This will probably be, I would think, a slow strategy because we're using a very small base bet, but it allows for many losses. I assume that's the way this works. So I'll let this run for a little bit. I might speed it up. I might turn off auto bet, or sorry, I might put on instant bet. But we're just gonna see how this runs for now. Looks like it's moving pretty good in the right direction. It's a very slow strategy, which I like it because you can monitor it. Doesn't seem to be getting out of hand too bad. So yeah, I don't know. I like this one so far. We still have to do a lot of work though. We're only like $1 profit, so going for a 25% gain on the bankroll is pretty high. I get that. You know, we're going for 1% on our 4%. It's a pretty high chance. So obviously, the longer you run these strategies, the more of a chance it has of busting. So we'll see how this goes. I think a lot of these are probably not meant to run this long, but so far so good. I'm liking where this is going. We're about a third of the way there. Very consistent uptrend on the graph. Not too many big dips. So I like that a lot. Trying to see the bet amount to see what this goes up to. I haven't seen it go too high until the beginning there. So we went up to $1 just there. Almost at the 1% profit, but we're pretty close. We're pretty close. This one seems to be working really well. Now we're starting to get some losses. All right, came back. We're about $3 away now. I think this one's gonna pull through. I have some good faith in this one. Seems like a really good strategy. Very easy to set up too. I like that a lot. Yeah, that's a nice graph. That's a nice graph. This is nice for me too, because like I said, I don't really have to like think too much. I just you guys sent these in, I set them up, let them run. Very easy on my end. All right, now we're getting a big dip. We came back from it, and we were about $1 away from our profit pool. So yeah, it's really nice to just be able to set these up, let them run. I can actually like talk to you guys a little bit more than usual, because usually I'm like so dialed in on trying to get the video done and make conscious bets, but that was really good. I like that a lot. I'm gonna take a screenshot of that. Let's just do that. And that looks like it was a win. So the next one has to win too. I'm gonna log this into my bracket and I'll be right back. Okay, so day 172 is a win. That strategy was really nice. I like that a lot. It worked out really well. So we'll take the dub there. At day 173, we're sitting at $997. So what I'm gonna do to make things even for every strategy, instead of using a whole new like numerical amount and bumping up the 1% profit pool, I'm just gonna run the same exact number back from the previous one. So we had $39 was our bankroll that we used, just to keep things like all even. I know it'd still be 1% and everything, but I think the numbers are easier for you guys to see if it's the same exact numbers. So basically what I'm saying is we're keeping everything very equal. If this wins, we will be above $1,000 too, which would be pretty nuts. I'm really hoping this wins. It's a pretty risky one. The next one is a crash strategy. Now this one is something that I used to run in the past. Very similar to something I used to do in the past. So the first one here won, and now we're on to Denham. Again, I'm gonna butcher all these names, I apologize. But they want to do a 1.1x crash all-in strategy. So let me pull up their actual strategy here. And this is what they suggested. So we got put your entire stop loss on a 1.1x, not a 1.01, a 1.1x until you meet the profit pool. So he doesn't even know if this works, but he's suggesting it. So that's kind of cool, you know. I'm gonna do it anyways. I don't know if it works. He doesn't know if it works. We're gonna find out together. Very risky. I'm gonna set this up real quick. Let me pull up the website. So I've done this before, and what I used to do is, if you guys have watched before, basically is, let's go over to crash. And this strategy is gonna make my heart explode, because this is risky. Doing an all-in bet. I've never done an all-in on crash, so I'm a little bit nervous for that. But what we're gonna do is we're gonna do 39 all-in bet. Then we're gonna cash out at a 1.1x, and then on win we're gonna increase by 10%, because that'll be every time we win, we get 10%. So we're gonna just carry over all the winnings until we hit our profit pool. We're gonna stop on profit of 9.76. That's a 1% profit pool. And yeah, this can bust pretty easily. You can see 1.03x up here. It has the potential to bust. So we're just gonna start the auto bet. We're just gonna start it. I think it's set up correctly. Cash out at 1.1x. On win, increase by. Yeah, I think we're good to go. Okay, so let's start it. So the next one we lock in on, we should just be rolling. And I'm very nervous because I know crash can crash way before 1.1. I usually do 1.03x and I carry it over. But that usually takes, I think, like 20 games when I do it. Anywhere between 15 and 20 games, depending on the initial bet size. This should take like 3 or 4 wins, because this is a 10% gain. So if this works, oh man, I'm so nervous. Okay, the first one hits. So this should take 3 wins. This should take 3 wins, which is very nerve-wracking. But if it gets 3 wins, Maybe even less. No, it would take 3. It would take 3. It wouldn't take 2. Yeah, we need 3. We need 3 wins. So that's 1 right there. Can we get 2 more? Oh my gosh. All right, it hits the second time. And we're already in an $8.19 profit. So this is like, you can see this third win is going to take it way over the profit pool, which would probably beat the other strategies. So if this wins, I think this moves on to the next round. If it wins the next crash session here, it moves on to the next bracket round. If it loses, then it's out. I think that's pretty much the determining factor. And I'll explain how the tiebreaker works if these do tie. And a tie is basically they both win. They both win, they both lose, it's a tie. And I came up with a system that is a tiebreaker. So we're about to find out here in about 3 seconds. And it cashes. Okay, that's a $12.91 gain on the day. We're gonna enter this in the sheet and I'm going to explain how the tiebreaker works. All right, so day 173 was the win. We got our $12.91, which is pretty sick. Pretty big addition to the bankroll there. A little bit more than 1% goal. Definitely take that. That's gonna put us over our total balance as is now $1,000. I can't even speak. I can't even speak. Our total balance is now $1,000. It's pretty crazy. We started with $1. We started the whole way back with $1. Let me go the whole way back. Is it the whole way back? Yeah. $1. And we worked our whole way up in 179 days to $1,000. That's pretty nuts. It's pretty nuts. And we're supposed to be at 463. So we're like more than double where we should be at. Like I said before, I'm doing sports betting now on FanDuel and DraftKings, and a little bit on Fanatics too. But I'm doing some sports betting. We have a lot of bonuses coming in, so that's all helping the balance stay afloat and grow very slowly and consistently. I'm not posting all that because it's like I do really small bets, anywhere from like I say, $1 to maybe like $2 on a sports bet, and I follow somebody else. It's not even my plays. But yeah, that's like pretty consistent. I've been winning most of those because that person knows what they're doing. We have all the casino bonuses from the outside apps and everything. So all that's carrying the balance really hard and very strong. And luckily you guys are gonna help carry the balance, hopefully a lot further with this challenge, the bracket challenge. So speaking of which, let's hop into the bracket real quick. So the bracket, these strategies both won. I really liked both of them. Honestly, I'm gonna keep it real with you. I like the first one way better. The limbo strategy, I prefer that one because it seems a lot safer over the long term. The crash strategy, yeah, very quick. We got 3 quick wins, got our 1% profit pool. Very risky though. If that loses once, your entire stop loss is wiped out, your entire bankroll, depending on what your bankroll size would be. Not that I ever suggest you gamble, don't gamble. I'm just saying, whoever's bankroll, you know, for me, it's 4% of the bankroll. So if I lose that, it's not the end of the world. I'm cool with that. If you're using like your entire bankroll, if I was using my entire $1,000 on that, that'd be terrifying. Very high risk, I think, but technically the less you play, the less the house edge kicks in. So, I mean, that is kind of a factor in there. But let me explain how I do a tiebreaker. So this is very like, I didn't set this up that well. I wasn't even gonna show you guys this because it's just like for me to keep track of, but I think it's important for you guys to understand this too. So these are the rules for the challenge. This is posted in the Discord. This is just kind of how I'm running everything. If you want to pause and read that, I probably should have read that at the beginning of the video, but basically each unit is a percent of the bankroll. So 4 units is 4%, trying to get 1 unit, which is 1%. And then these are the tiebreakers. So this is how I decide the ties. I guess I probably should read this. I was just gonna skip over this. But if we have 2 strategies that win, to do a tiebreaker, what I'm gonna do is basically we're gonna determine the more efficient strategy. So what that means is the highest final profit, so whoever makes the most money has the highest return. Whatever one has the less bets to hit the profit goals, that means it's faster. That's the way I kind of take it, because I don't want it to run like 10,000 bets. I feel like that's, you know, if it takes like 6 hours to get the profit goal, it's probably not like the best strategy. So everyone's quicker has the highest return, and then the final one is whoever has the lowest drawdown. So whatever has like the less risk. So if it dips really deep down, that's pretty risky. Basically, it's based on the graph. So to explain that a little bit better, let's go down to here. This is very raw, like I said. This isn't like, I didn't like set this up to look pretty. Basically, these are the same exact things I just read to you. So we have the final profit loss. Kind of messy, I get it, but with the bets placed and the lowest max dip. So these are all the winning tiebreaker factors here. And then obviously this is just the determination. So it's just saying like higher is better. So yeah, the strategies, we have strategy 1 and 2, right? So the first one was a limbo one. The second one is the crash one. So for the first strategy, it had a 25% gain, which was like the 951 or 981 or whatever it was, over the $39. So that's how I calculated that. $39 was the bankroll. It went up 25% profit. And then the second strategy had 33% profit. So obviously we like the higher profit. So the higher determination for the final profit is green. So that's over here. It's 33%, that's higher. Hopefully I'm explaining this properly. It makes sense in my head. It's just like, I didn't even like think about explaining this, but I figured I probably should, just so you guys know how I'm doing the tiebreakers. The second one is the bets placed. So obviously we want the lowest amount of bets. So for the first one, we had 142 bets, which makes sense because you're gonna take some losses and, you know, increase the bet size by 130%. So I had 142 bets. On the crash one, we just had 3 bets. So obviously that's a lot quicker. I think speed's more important. So that wins that section there. And then the final one was the lowest max dip. Obviously in the crash one, there wasn't a dip at all, because if I would have lost any of them, the whole balance would have crashed and the max dip would have been the entire balance. Where on the first strategy, I think it went down like $1.50. So that was like 3.85% of the $39 bankroll. So a very small dip, really not a bad strategy at all. These numbers are really good. I think the crash one was just like, if it worked out, you're not beating that. So I think going on to the challenge, that strategy, the crash one, will probably be really hard to beat unless it just crashes and ruins itself. I think that's going to be the way that goes based on these factors here. So that's how we're going to calculate everything. These are going to be the tiebreakers. Obviously there's 3 of them, so only one strategy can have 2 of the 3. So there will be a winner based on these 3 factors. But yeah, I guess that's pretty much it. I guess we'll pop back over into the bankroll tracker here. And yeah, I don't really have much else to say. That was episode 1 of the bracket challenge. Hope you guys did enjoy it. We have a lot more to go. Obviously, like I said, this was the first one here, and we're gonna be running, the next video will be these 2, and then the next video will be these 2, the next video, so on and so on. And then again, I have my strategies in here, so these, I'm gonna just kind of compete the 2 together. These are my 2 favorite. So, you know, like I said, I won't let these go the whole way. I don't want these to win. If mine do go the whole way, that's great. But basically, I'm just trying to figure out the best strategy that works consistently over the long term. And just because a strategy is knocked out, like this first one, I still like that strategy a lot. I think that's a really good strategy. I think I might use it in the future. I like it. It's just very easy to set up, very easy to run. But yeah, I'm trying to just find new strategies because I always use the same stuff. So I'm trying to find new stuff, and then you guys can see what works and what doesn't work at my risk. So it's a win-win for everyone. And then the best one that makes it the whole way to the finish here will end up winning the whole challenge. So this will be a little series that's going to run on for probably like a month and a half, 2 months maybe. I don't know how long it'll take. But yeah, that's going to be it for the first one. I hope you guys did enjoy it. Something a little bit different, but yeah, very exciting. We got 2 more wins, broke $1,000 in the bankroll. Massive milestone. That's so sick. Maybe we'll do something special for hitting $1,000 in the next episode. But until then, thank you so much for watching. Join the Discord, the link's in the description. There's some other links down there for you to help yourself out. And with that, I think we'll leave it there. And I'll catch you guys in the next episode of the Bracket Challenge. Thank you so much for watching, I'll see you guys in the next one. All right, peace.